Hitbrain, and I'm here to run through a few of the changes on this patch and how they might affect the UKLC and also your solo queue games. Now, there's a lot of changes this patch, so we're going to pick up on a few of the big ones and how we think they will affect the UK scene the most. First up is Cassiopeia. Besides a few stat changes, the major difference to the 914 Snake Lady is her miasma has now had its minimum cast range removed. This means dealing with bruisers and assassins is much easier for her. On top of that, the mana cost on her Twin Fangs has been evened out and the healing has been buffed considerably, allowing her once again to be the late game threat she aspires to be. Poppy has received some changes. Her Steadfast Presence now not only stops a dashing ability, but will ground and slow the target for 2 seconds. A big change considering how prevalent mobility is right now. Aatrox will no longer be able to earn his revival with World End up. He has received some minor buffs to compensate for this, and although this seems like a major change, we expect to still see him destroying team fights, now with a little less safety if all things go wrong. Akali has been hard to punish for a long time. Her Twilight Shroud makes her invisible and not obscured, which allows true sight effects to reveal her. She has also had her ult cooldown raised, and in return she's received an AP ratio on her Shuriken flip and some stat buffs across the board, which means she'll be an even higher priority target for shutting down, but will be easier to do so. Lux has been a stable blind pick for the last few patches. With Aftershock and Prismatic Barrier, she's felt nearly impossible to kill. Her Light Binding cooldown has been extended until rank 4, and her shield has lost its duration and a third of its flat strength. She's also lost the cooldown refund mechanic on her final spark in return for a buffed AP ratio scaling and a shorter CD at higher levels. A lot of nerfs mean we won't be seeing her every game, but we do still expect to see her show up on occasion. Pyke is even more feast or famine. His ult does 50% reduced damage when it doesn't execute, but if he manages to land it, he'll get an extra cut for himself on top of the previous gold allocations. Pyke can now snowball super hard with a ton of gold. As a few of the supports that builds damage, this will really allow him to pop off. Swain hasn't been seen for a little while and received a range of changes. His passive now allows him to permanently store soul fragments, increasing his match HP by 5. He also gets his mana back when he picks them up. His Q has had its cooldown increased and its range reduced, but in return, it now goes through the minions, allowing him greater wave clear. His ult can now be cast at any point. Instead of being reliant on soul fragments, it's based on the amount of health drained. Overall, these changes may allow him to return in the mid game because he'll be super bulky and his ultimate will be a lot more usable. Sylas has had some decent buffs to his Chain Lash damage, but in return, the stun on his Absconder and Abduct has been reduced, as well as his shield being on the first cast and only blocking magic damage. His ult has been toned down with lower AD ratios and longer cooldown at rank 3. It's gone from 15 seconds to 60. Sylas is a highly contested jungler at the moment, and this is a big hit to his late game. However, we do still think he'll be getting picked up consistently. Tahm has had a myriad of changes. The main points are that his thick skin is weaker at blocking damage, his Devour won't stun you when he spits you out for 0.25 seconds, and your Q has a smaller melee hitbox and a weaker but longer slow, and also stunning consumes all of his passive stacks. The compensation is he can now consume red and blue buffs, so maybe we'll see some shenanigans when he gets picked up. Yumi's passive has been nerfed not to give her mana back, as well as her Prowling Projectile doing less damage early. She has had her heal mana cost reduced, and the healing is higher when the target is low HP. And finally, Galio, well, let's just say we won't be seeing him around here anymore.
Hello and welcome to week 4, day 2 of the UKLC. I'm joined here by Ollie and Morgs, and we're here to bring you some of the best UK League of Legends action, especially if you saw yesterday's games.
Yesterday was incredible. We had so many backdoor finishes. We had a Malphite, we had a mess, we had the longest game we've had in UKLC history.
Yeah.
It was incredible, and we're looking to continue that here in day 2.
Yeah, got another load of great games for today. XL still sit at top of the tower, so we'll be looking to defend. But you may be interested, what are all these teams playing for? And the answer is a chance to perform at the live finals in Twickenham. You can also be there yourself. If you go online to uklc.gg/tickets, you can buy yourself a ticket for only £5, so a pretty reasonable price. And there you'll be able to see the top 2 teams play. And also, a lot of the teams will have booths set up, we'll have some goodies to give away, all sorts of merch and stuff. It'll be a whole event, not just the final. So if you're interested, get yourself down. It will be at Twickenham Stadium on the 1st of September.
Yeah, I mean, there's no excuse not to go. It's easy to travel to. The tickets aren't too expensive, and September 1st, I believe, is the date. That's whatever. People aren't doing anything on that date, I'm sure.
Yeah, so if you're interested in being kept up to date on all the news for the UK scene, LVP UK LOL is our Twitter, so be sure to follow us there. And then if you want to get involved in the conversation, you can tweet at us with hashtag UKLC. We're able to see your tweets. We might feature them on the stream. We can get in touch with you as well and reply if you are interested.
We want to see your artwork. We want to see your gifts. But remember, you have to use hashtag UKLC. We won't see it otherwise. Even if you at LVP UK LOL, it needs to have the hashtag UKLC, okay?
Yeah, of course. And if you missed any of the games from yesterday or previous weeks, you can go to our YouTube, which is LVP UK LOL. You can see all the matches from yesterday. You can see all the games, all the way back to last year's 4G Champions when things kicked off. So I think the big one for me to watch from yesterday was that Envision game where we had a 50-minute, longest game in the UKLC history, and it was finished by a backdoor Malphite. So pretty crazy one.
And the team fights in that game were just a mess to watch as well, but really enjoyable. So if you're looking for some sort of Clown Fiesta style gameplay, that's what you want to go for. But of course, the rest of the matches were great too, so you can check those out if you did miss any of those.
Yeah, so obviously had a round of 8 yesterday, which involved the 4 teams that got through were Enclave, Fnatic Rising, and then we had Envision and Demise. And we have some clips prepared for you just so you can see how things went down there. This is Feeling up against Demise. And it was I mean, all the games are pretty close across the board, but Voxney absolutely popped off from this game on the Xayah, farmed up a Storm, and then just right-clicked his opponents to death. And this is the tower rematch we had at the start of yesterday's show. We had 5 matches, not 4, and XL managed to beat Fnatic, and teamfights like this were a big reason why.
And Sendo here is going to get a huge ultimate onto 3 targets. He played so well in that game and actually received MVP for that performance. And yeah, they claimed the tower for this week, and we're going to have to see if someone can challenge them for it
Yeah, and
later.
I think it's a huge storyline because Sendo struggled since he came to the UK scene to live up to the hype. But he managed to perform last week and in that game today. So looking forward to seeing him again. This is Enclave up against Dabs. Another game that I would see as an upset because Enclave, they managed to get their first point up against Ablis, who were in 4th place. And it was just some great team fighting, and Scood was the MVP for that game. Really standout performance throughout. And actually, another backdoor came in, which was his call just to try and push a side lane. And then he went, you know what, I can end in this situation. Called Beely in with a teleport, and yeah, we had some crazy games yesterday, if you weren't aware.
Yeah, and Rengis also on this Aatrox played such a monster frontline, got like a huge triple kill in one of the fights that resulted in Baron. Just great play from Enclave that resulted in the victory for them.
Yeah, great play on a very balanced champion. But, you know, and this is the backdoor that we were talking about. Scood and Beely able to find it with a TP in, and then Barrage and then Vision. That was a big one.
Yeah, I mean, the Malphite ultimates, they're just huge. Like, from both monkeys, stealing it away from the Malphite as well as Malphite themselves, the fights are just so incredible, constant knockups, and then the ending here was such a mess.
We don't see it in this clip, but Borrelia was in the team fight, he ults, and then he flashes away, and he TPs in to end. It's just a Malphite backdoor, and then maybe some questionable decisions coming in from Barrage, but they are now the only team still on 0 points thanks to Borrelia's backdoor, and Envision, they got their first win, which is a big achievement for them.
Yeah, it's huge for them. We only have 1 team now, unfortunately, which is Barrage with 0 points, so they'll have to look at the future weeks to try and pick up their first win.
Yeah, absolutely, and there was an unsung hero for yesterday, which was from Demise. We talked a lot about the MVP, then Voxney, but he was nothing without his teammate, which was Vigo. Played the Ricard, and they had the Lovers duo, and he did a lot of work to make his team be successful.
Yeah, 0-0-11 KDA. That is perfect. You could not ask for anything
kill
better.
steals.
And played very nicely in the team fights, making sure to run through everyone with his ultimate CC and lock them all up.
Yeah, it was a pretty close vote, apparently, in the Unsung Hero. A lot of people up for contention. A big one as well was NG for Fnatic. Put on a really strong performance. But, you know, a lot of players have been putting their absolute all in to try and get this. And, oh no, I've just realized what's next. So, we do have to show you...
We do indeed, yes.
The predictions.
They're pretty good. What can I say?
Just run the prediction.
Coming out on top. Wow, look at me. Big brainy guest in the lead.
I'm last. And the thing is, if Fnatic take the Tower Champion, I'm just dead last.
Well, the thing is, Eminem can't even contest it. So
yeah, we don't know who the Tower Champion's going to be yet, but it can't be Eminem because they got knocked out.
So you got 0 points this
I had
week.
a 0-point week. On a week where I'm joined by 2 play-by-plays, I'm supposed to be the one who's good at analysis, and...
It's like you said earlier, just look at your predictions next week, flip them, you might actually do well then.
I wish I'd done that this week.
Ooh, yeah, really, I mean, a lot of those were very hard to predict games, though. They were so close, and the endings constantly being backdoors meant it was in anyone's hands in those games.
And personally, I voted for Eminem twice, and they let me down. So I'm blaming you guys personally for holding me back.
Ouch.
But anyway, if you're interested in the games today and a bit of what happened yesterday, we do have the bracket available for you, so you can see the matches that came through. Obviously, there's all of our round of 8, but today we'll have Enclave against Fnatic Rising, and then Envision against Demise. The winner of both of those will play in the final, and then the winner of that will challenge XL, who are the current Tower champions. So a lot of interesting games and a big opportunity, because for Enclave, Envision, and Demise, they will be their first opportunity to make it to the finals if they win this game. And obviously, we expect Fnatic to be able to come out ahead of Enclave, but we also expected Diablos to be Enclave, and we were wrong about that, me in particular. So I think there's obviously an opportunity for these teams to have an upset. But on the other side, Envision Demise, it's actually a rematch of our first match on the summer split, and both of them would love to get to that final sort of position. And one of them has to. It's a similar situation with Envision against Broj. One of them was going to leave that spot of being on 0 points. And in this situation, it's the same. Either Demise or Envision will have their first opportunity to get to the finals. It's a big thing, considering they are both teams that came in this split from the promotion tournament.
And the last time these two teams played, if I remember, it was decimation from Demise.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty rough. But Infinity talked about that yesterday and said he wants to try and get some redemption and earn it back. But that will be our second match of the day. We're going to focus on our first match, which is coming up, which is Enclave against Fnatic Rising. So we had really strong team in Fnatic Rising, but they did get beaten by the likes of XL. Enclave haven't had the greatest start, but managed to get that first point yesterday.
I mean, Fnatic Rising, they're a top 2 team, maybe the first best. You know, they might have just had a bit of an off week, but let's check out the rosters for these teams. Who we got first coming up? It will be Enclave. They've got Rengis in their top lane, Scoot is their jungler, Beely mid, Kevo AD carry, and Raisins is on support.
Yeah, and so I don't really want to underestimate their bot lane. The bot lane's been the only part that got kept on, but their top side of the map was just critical in securing them that win yesterday. So really solid performances from them. And then we're going to look at the other roster, which is Fnatic Rising, which might surprise some people. So it's actually Ronaldo playing in the top lane today, NG in the jungle, Magi Felix mid, X-Mighty AD carry, and Prosper support.
Ronaldo is looking as good as he did last week, actually.
Yeah, and he is. And a lot of people might be confused about why Fnatic made that decision. We haven't heard a ton about it other than it's for strategic reasons. So it'll be interesting to see how they develop things going forwards. But our matchup of the day will be the jungle matchup, which is Scoot against NG. Scoot was the MVP for his game, getting that great backdoor. And then NG, he just missed out, was close to the unsung hero, but both of them had great games yesterday.
NG easily could have been MVP for Fnatic's game as well. His Sejuani performance was just so good, playing the front line, landing the ultimates over and over. This is certainly the one to watch in this game. Yeah,
and then Scoot on the Silas was just monstrous. There were so many team fights. He was just stellar in the skirmishes. And then the decision-making, the look for that backdoor, Cole Beely in as well, is really solid play. You got to commend him.
Oh, we're into pick and ban already. Now, is there any bans that you initially feel are going to come out? Who do you feel they're going to be targeting on each of these teams, or is it just going to be power picks?
I think power picks is going to be a big one. I think Enclave might look towards NG and Magi Felix because they're pretty strong staple members. I feel like Mighty and Prosper, they've got quite wide champion pools. They have looked at the Sivir for that first ban, but I feel like they're still going to have a lot of things in their wheelhouse. The really tricky one is Ronaldo, because obviously they've got a strategy coming into this, putting him top lane, but you've got to wonder, what is the strategy? Is there going to be a pick that we can try and predict that might sort of justify him being put in, or is it just going to be a gamble where we throw away bans trying to work out what they're doing?
So he was on Corki last time we saw him play.
In the mid lane, yeah.
So we don't expect that to be
I
flex
don't
top.
expect Corki top.
But it could be something, a mid laner which is able to move like a Yasuo.
I mean, in theory, he could get put mid and Felix plays something top. We did see him play Camille against Sendo's Jax and actually do a monstrous amount of work. So it's really hard to tell. For now, Enclave gone for some pretty safe staple bans. The Irelia and the Sivas both seen a lot of priority throughout. Fnatic Rise is going for a lot of the support pool with this Yuumi and the Karma. A lot of these shield protection supports that can facilitate your teammates.
You could potentially see a Sona ban out as well. I'm not sure if either of these teams go with that Sona tag
Enclave
stuff. But
did play a Sona game early in the split, and they didn't quite get the first win, but they were pretty close when they did use it. So yeah, definitely an option that is on the table.
Azir is up, Aatrox is up, 2 champions which Sylas is up, 3 champions we've seen Enclave have quite a lot of success on in their previous game.
They do ban away the Kiana from Fnatic Rising, which I think is a good call. Ronaldo's been told he's quite an aggressive player, so could potentially see him bring that one out. But also, Felix loves these sort of assassins, and it has such a high win rate in competitive across the board, so very safe to ban that one away. Now, for Fnatic Rising, as you said, a lot of power picks still available. That Aatrox at Sylas, which Scoot had so much success on. Rengus played that Aatrox himself. That will be off the table. But now, I could see Enclave just taking the Sylas here in this first pick. I think that's a pretty viable one, especially when Scoot had so much success. Or alternatively, if they want to secure a safe blind mid, Beely was really strong on that Azir, but when Azir and Corki are both open, I don't think there's that much pressure to pick it now, unless you feel like you can only play one of them. But instead, they might be looking towards that Nico.
Nico is flexible, and I think we only saw it once yesterday. I could be wrong on that, and the performance wasn't too good.
It was rough in the top lane, but Kevo has shown that he is willing to play it in the bot lane, and a lot of regions have still been playing it as sort of, I mean, particularly Korea, I've seen they've been playing it as an attack speed pick. Building like Blade of the Moon King into Rapid Fire Cannon in the top lane. So there is potential to put it there, or even in the bot lane, because Kevo was the first to play a sort of on-hit Nico in the bot lane. That's still potential. Very quickly, the Gragas pick comes in. I gotta expect a Yasuo to follow that up.
Yep, and that could be the support, it could be the jungler, but with Yasuo being left open, it's likely it'll go into the bot lane. The combination of the knockups with, you know, the synergy with Yasuo it's very strong, but instead they opt for the Cassiopeia. Yeah,
they opt for the Cassiopeia. We did see some flexibility can be played in the bot lane. Big buffs in this patch. The Miasma can go into melee range, basically, so you can deal with a lot of assassins and bruisers. And then also the healing on a Twin Fangs got buffed. It's really hard to cut her down late game because obviously she builds a lot of HP and has the shielding from Aceros, and then the healings she gets as well. Makes a difficult target. We do see the Sylas coming for Scoot. Not too surprised there. Really strong option, and he already has a pretty solid pick of ults with those two.
Yeah, 2 strong ults, and that's the problem when drafting against a Sylas. It's like, we could go for a really strong pick of our own here, but it kind of enables them as well. So should we go for it? It's just one of those things the coaches always have to consider in the draft. And Enclave are rounding out their 3rd pick here. What do you feel it's going to be?
Ezreal. Oh,
you are correct.
Oh,
well
so
done.
Good.
Zaya's still left up, actually, as maybe the other premier AD carry. So that's probably what we'll see Fnatic go with if you think that's something they'll play. But again, Yasuo is still up.
Yeah, I think the Yasuo is going to come in as the 3rd pick. You pick the Gragas, you want to take the Yasuo as well. I guess they just didn't think Enclave were that likely to pick it up there, but now they've taken it themselves to have a chance to ban away counters. And that Gragas Yasuo combo is just so strong. You can put it bot lane, you can put it jungle mid. Potentially, you could put it jungle top if you really wanted, but I don't think Yasuo has that many good matchups in the top lane. But Ronaldo's playing for a reason. It might be that this is it, but we will have to see. Over on Enclave, the Ezreal does mean we know it won't be a Nico AP carry in the bot lane. And Kevo has taken a pretty safe AD carry here. Sivir being off the table means Ezreal was the sort of premier safe AD carry pick. We see Fnatic start to ban away the support pool, which is still left open for Raisins.
That's the 3rd support ban already for them right now, so they're very hard focusing onto that bot lane. If they do end up opting with that Gragas Yasuo, what counters do you think there is?
I think it's pretty rough. You potentially go something like an Alistar, just so you can constantly knock away the Yasuo and disrupt him. Braum isn't awful as well because you can block the Gragas barrel. It'll just knock you away. So I could see that being a pick, but Braum really has not been picked at all very much in this current meta, and it would struggle when a Cassiopeia can just absolutely blow through you. I guess we'll have to see. Zed gets banned away, which is something Ronaldo hovered. Not sure how invested Fnatic were into picking that, but it does get taken off the card. And actually, Braum will be banned away, so Fnatic's thinking on a similar line that they're concerned if they take that bot lane, or even just late in the game, you can block that barrel as a form of engage.
So probably spells that they're going to be going into the bot lane now. And looking at the jungle pool, it's kind of wide open options-wise for Fnatic here, if provided Gragas isn't the one that ends up in the jungle.
I mean, that's a difficulty. If they heavily ban one area of the map, they'll just move the Gragas and the Yasuo. They do get rid of the Sejuani, which I think makes a lot of sense, because we don't actually see Sejuani Yasuo bot lane coming out from XL.
Oh yeah, true, true.
And that bot lane works really well because Yasuo stacks up the passive so easily, so that won't be a possibility. And now Fnatic, they will have to take the 4th ban. I feel like they won't reveal a tone with this pick. They'll probably pick something fairly flexible as well, just so they can keep Enclave guessing till that 5th pick.
And it just makes the draft phase so difficult trying to figure out all these lane assignments, these champions that can go wherever they want. That Shen is likely to be the support though for Prosper.
Yeah, so very likely to be a support Shen, which does sort of confirm a few things. So I'm guessing it's now going to be the Yasuo Gragas in the mid jungle. That means that the Cassiopeia is either going to be AP carry in the bot lane, or it's going to go top. We don't know yet. We have seen it a bit in the top lane in previous iterations, just when people wanted to play it up into range matchups. But Shen does reveal quite a bit. And Enclave looking towards Morgana. So the Black Shield obviously means that you're not going to get knocked up by the Gragas barrel, so you can't get ulted after that. The only difficulty is dealing with a Yasuo. The wind wall will block a lot of things, but we don't expect to see that in the bot lane. It may still come out. It may still come out as a thing. There's still a lot of flexibility with Fnatic, but it would do well at dealing with the taunts from the Shen. And now for the last pick to round things out, Beely might just go for his Azir again. Looks like he's going to. Pretty safe, stable pick, and it has the mobility to deal with the Gragas and the Yasuo. If you can keep on your toes and you can shuffle away, you should be okay in that situation.
And Azir has no issues against a wind wall either.
No,
so.
Absolutely, yeah. So better choice than the Corki in the situation. And Beely showed yesterday he is confident on that Azir.
Kai'Sa rounding out the composition, so probably not Yasuo in the bot lane. I mean,
No.
I don't think we're going to see Kai'Sa messing around, but as they do trade these things out, do you want to just go over how do you think these compositions are going to do at different stages of the game?
Yeah, so I think that the bot lane of Enclave should have the advantage in the early levels, just because having the Ezreal Morgana, you have range and short range AD carry and a melee. I think in terms of jungle, I expect NG to do more, but Scoot's going to scale up. My concern is that Fnatic have a really strong scaling top laner, really strong scaling AD carry, and then if they shut Beely down with this mid-jungle combo, it's going to be hard. And then on top of all that, the Nico and the Cassiopeia matchup, if Ronaldo plays it right and is able to dodge away, I feel like it could just end up like the Karma. Once you have enough mana, if you dodge the root coming out from the Nico, you'll just be able to burn through it, and there's very little she can do. And I think a lot is going to be put on Scoot's shoulders just to shut down these strong carries that are going to scale up really well. Whereas for Fnatic, it's all about this mid-jungle. You want to win mid, put Beely on the back foot, potentially take his flash or even a kill early, and then use that to extend your pressure to the rest of the lanes. Because if Scoot is dealing with Gragas, he could be okay. But if you're dealing with the Gragas and the Yasuo roaming constantly, it's a death sentence.
But as that composition did get rounded out, we see why Ronaldo's been subbed in now. I don't think Shikari would play something like a Cassiopeia. It's not really in his champ pool.
As far as we haven't seen him
or at
play
least play
yet,
style-wise.
it could just be that they want to play a more carry-oriented top laner. And Shikari, it's not that he hasn't played those, he definitely has, but he has sort of not been as comfortable on mages, and I think Cassiopeia very much is a sort of in the mid laner's wheelhouse. So maybe they came into this game with a plan like, we could play Nico, we could play Cassiopeia, we could play all of these things. We think Ronaldo would be better suited to them, and have decided to give that a go. And I think the matchup should be okay for him. And it's going to be difficult for Rengus because Nico, I'm sure he is reasonably comfortable on, but Ronaldo will definitely be comfortable on the Cassiopeia. And it could be a rough matchup. If you get set behind early, you are going to struggle, especially when they're both mid-range mages. There's not too much you can do, because if you get in range of her, she can easily slow you down, easily speed herself up with her poison, and then she can just run you down.
Fnatic's draft actually doesn't have too many amazing ults to be stolen by the Sylas, now I think about it. I mean, Shen ult, it has uses, but it's not going to come up constantly. The Kai'Sa ultimate, again, maybe uses. Do you have to mark someone to be able to use it? Or
I think you either have to auto-attack them, or you have to have someone else CC. So the Kai'Sa ultimate's okay. You can reposition, get that extra shield, which makes you a lot more bulkier. I think the Cassiopeia ultimate is okay as well. If you get onto them, you can set that up. Gragas is great. Shen, situational, because you'd probably have to go bot and then find an opportunity to use it elsewhere. But in the early game, definitely, I can imagine him picking that one up. makes his ganking more effective. The Yasuo one is really situational because you're relying on your team to provide the knockup so that you can use it. It's great if you can steal the Yasuo ult and then proc it yourself, but if you want to use the team fight, you're going to be relying on, you know, maybe a Shurima shuffle coming in from Beely. We have just been told it's been a pretty long pause, so we'll be set back a bit. We do have a tweet coming out from Fnatic that we can have a look at.
See, sweat it out and watch some League of Legends with us. The temperature outside is even more ridiculous than it was yesterday somehow. Make sure you're drinking water, guys.
Keep hydrated. But yeah, it's a busy day in London. It's a Fnatic 15 party, and there's actually a lot going on.
It's their birthday, right?
Yeah, it's their 15th birthday, so happy birthday, Fnatic. And they've actually got a lot going down in London where the players are playing. So it's going to be quite difficult for them because they're going to be playing while all this is going on.
Partying in the background.
I mean, all I'm saying is if Fnatic lose very quickly, I'll be like, well, maybe they just wanted to join in with the party. It was a similar situation because, you know, it's Shogun's birthday today.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
which
happy
is
birthday,
why
Shogun. But that's why
yesterday.
he dropped out yesterday. He wanted to celebrate his birthday. I can understand it. It's my birthday tomorrow.
Oh, well, happy birthday. Make sure you're
you.
saying happy birthday in Twitch chat.
Look, there's so many birthdays been going on. You know, we have
Crazy.
Fnatic and Shogun today, with mine tomorrow. It's actually my little brother's birthday today as well. So yeah, happy birthday, Thomas.
Is there anything special
Probably
9 months ago that would cause for birthdays to be happening around now? Not I can think of.
No, who knows?
No. Oh, well,
well, I mean,
that's fine.
I'm going to be honest. Fnatic as an organization wasn't conceived.
that'll have nothing to do with it.
It doesn't really work like that. But yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to get underway with this game soon. Enclave against Fnatic Rising. One of the teams on the top versus one of the teams who are struggling at the bottom. We do have another tweet, actually, we can show you. Imagine to lose... I don't have to imagine it. It happened.
0 points. That's
what makes it worse. You know, it's not the 0 point week. It's not getting everything wrong.
It's losing to hip
Losing
brain.
to hip brain.
The
fact it's like it's a 50-50 chance for most of them, apart from the tower prediction.
Yeah.
So if someone who knew nothing about League of Legends, nothing at all, guessed, they would get
50%
like 50%.
correct. Yeah.
So I've done pretty bad. Or the interpretation you could take is that I purposely chose all the wrong answers.
Yes.
To sabotage myself so that the comeback is even more impressive. That's a storyline I'm going to push. I'm sure everyone believes me.
If you know what film that is, well done.
Yeah.
That was.
It's rough.
Jake was very excited talking about that film earlier on. Actually, he was.
It's a good film.
Very into it. Spider-Verse, by the way, is what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are going to be getting into game shortly. Should just be about a minute. Thank you for holding on and waiting with us. In the meantime, feel free to tweet how annoying we are to listen to for an extended period on Twitter using the hashtag UKLC.
And happy birthday.
Yeah, you can say happy birthday to Fnatic, you can say happy birthday to Shogun, feel free to tweet that out.
To this guy.
You can say it to me as well,
or
my
not.
birthday is tomorrow,
You could be a bit of a meanie.
Yeah, that's fine. Hashtag UKLC,
yes.
so make sure you throw out. Or if you just want to throw a random bit out, say happy birthday to Thomas. You won't read it. You know, he doesn't use Twitter very much, but it is my little brother's birthday, which is
happy birthday,
day,
Thomas.
it's a day before mine. And there's actually a funny story about that, because when I was younger, so we used to have a toy lightsaber, and then it broke.
Yeah.
And my little brother broke it, and I got really upset. And then it came to his birthday, and he got a toy lightsaber. And I was so upset. It was so unfair that he got a toy lightsaber when he broke it, and I didn't. And I was really upset. And my mum eventually got sick of me being upset, and she was like, "Are you an idiot? It's your birthday tomorrow." And it dawned on me, and it's like, oh. And the next day, what did I get?
What a lightsaber!
I got a lightsaber,
wow.
so we could play it again.
What color was it?
I believe mine was red.
Oh, evil. No.
His was blue, or I can't remember. It was a long time ago. I think I got the curved one. It was when episode 3 was coming out, so it was the Count Dooku one. Yeah, we got into game. So Enclave vs Fnatic. First game of the day. It is the semi-finals of Week 4, Day 2 of the UKLC.
And again, Enclave, if they win this match, they're going to go into the finals for the first time this split. Fnatic, of course, they want to be reclaiming it in the long run. They want to get to that Tower Championship, and they want to fight XL over it.
Yeah, absolutely. But Enclave, would this be a massive opportunity to win this, to take out Fnatic Rising, and then go to the final themselves? So both teams playing for a lot here. It's a very interesting comps come out. I feel like Enclave haven't shaken things up too much. They have the same mid jungle from yesterday, a pretty safe bot lane, and then Rengus is forced into something different because of the Aatrox ban. But
he got 70 gold off of that.
That is the dream. 570 already. That is the absolute dream. That I always invade when I'm playing Ezreal, just so you can land some Qs, land some Mystic shots, get some potential gold.
If he got 5 more gold, he would have been able to get a control ward off of that. That could have been so good in the early game.
You think any AD carry main
no, I take it back,
would
actually.
recall and buy a control ward? There is no way Kevin would have done that. He's like, oh, this is 75 gold towards my tier.
My longsword. We've got an instant replay, guys. At all hitboxes.
That was a unique hitbox.
It was
by all
just
means.
very long heels on Xmati's feet there. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, that's the only explanation it could be. So we do see Raisins and Kevo getting a bit of control in this lane. The range advantage does mean they can push up. Got to be cautious, though, because the all-in from Prospect can be big. And Raisins has gone for the pool. So at level 2, he will only be able to get either the Binding or the Black Shield. I feel like he might go towards the Binding for the extra pressure. But without the Black Shield, he is liable to get all-in by Prospect with that Taunt Flash.
We're not going to see a gank anytime soon from NG in that bot lane either, though, so the Black Shield won't be crucial, at least we expect, unless a huge taunt comes through for now. We'll have to see how that plays out.
I mean, Kevo's playing Ezreal, so they really shouldn't be able to get on top of him. And Raisin's actually opting to go for the heal, so this further cements that they want to play a safe bot lane, just apply constant poke and pressure, and then force some tower plates. Because the big thing with this bot lane coming up from Fnatic is that they just want Maddie to farm up and be strong, and they want Prospect to be freed up to roam. Particularly when he's hit level 6, he'll be able to ult back in if Maddie's ever under any threat. And a Kai'Sa is pretty hard to pin down with her own killer instinct. So I think that's what they want the lane to do, and that's why Raisins and Kevo are going to instantly start pushing up and try to threaten these plates.
Imagine Felix getting some good trades in that mid lane, but Scoot's jungle path, he's gone for 3 camps and not gone for a buff so far. Is this something common that we see?
No, this is not really common at all. He's decided to leave his red for a long time, which is a pretty interesting one. He maximized XP pretty heavily by going for those big XP camps in terms of the Raptors and the Krugs. And it does mean he's actually managed to speed ahead of NG in terms of pathing, get that Scuttle Crab already. It actually put a pink down, which NG walked over and didn't even register.
Seems interesting. I thought the call there was maybe, I don't know, help me shove out so I can recall or something, but...
No, I think he just completely missed it. Maybe the plan was he's going to instantly head to this bot lane Scuttle to secure it. But to be honest, I think he just missed the control ward. I think we're giving him too much credit. It happens sometimes.
It happened. His eyes are on somewhere else on the map.
A bigger prize.
Yes, he was doing what any jungler should be, which is not actually looking at your camps and just looking at the map instead.
Yeah, so he did manage to get the opposite side Scuttle, but he wasted quite a bit of time with that rotation. And it does mean that Scoot is going to be a little bit ahead, but now he's just sitting waiting for the camp. So he hasn't even gone for his red buff at all. He's decided to delay it for such a long time. And, you know, maybe some jungle memes have more of an interpretation about this, but I honestly haven't seen this before. Pretty interesting tactic. It does mean, however, that his red buff will be available later. So it could be they want to use it for some proactive ganking.
Or give it really early over to Kevo, but that could have been an interesting decision. I don't know, like giving the second buff to your AD. I don't know about that.
I mean, it's not even the second, it's the first.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
true.
still the first, so that would be a wild one. I have seen that happen, but it's only really when there's like a Twitch bot lane and they accidentally steal it. NG's now walking over. Smite is available for Scoot though and not for NG, so I think it makes sense to back out.
Alright, Mountain Drake will be the first of the game here, and I think for either of these teams, they're already going to do really good against these objectives in terms of the amount of damage they can output. But with that Mountain Drake, it would just turn it up another level. Yeah,
especially when, if you look at both teams, they have a lot of carries across the board. Fnatic have the likes of Cassiopeia in the top lane, which has always been a stellar one for taking neutrals. But even on the other side, Nico isn't bad. You know, her Q will continue to bloom on a neutral objective. And then they have Nazir as well, who does a ton of damage. I think both teams would love a Mountain just to speed up that objective taking even more.
So of course they'll be looking for that priority over the mid and bot lane. Make sure if they ever get that advantage in both of them, they can go and collapse in on that. And it could be worth fighting over for either of these teams. But for now, we are just continuing with that laning phase. And And in the top where you said it could be a bit difficult for Rengus, he is even on CS, but he'll go a little bit behind provided Ronaldo can catch all of these.
Yeah, and we actually see that Scooter's managed to pull ahead in CS somewhat. And I think the decision making may have been that there's a longer spawn time on the neutral buffs. So instead of taking the red buff straight away, which isn't going to clear for a long time, he's opted to go for the non-buff camps, and he was able to pick up his wolves a second time there, and then his Krugs as well. And it has pushed him ahead in terms of levels compared to NG. When you're playing a farm and jungler, I can understand it.
Starting up on this mountain, Drake. There you go. They got the priority in the bot lane like we spoke about. And with Scoot being on the wrong side of the map, whether they know that or not, this will go completely uncontested, and they've got an early dragon.
Yeah, early mount as well. Definitely one you want to be able to pick up, as we just talked about. NG able to secure that, and then we'll move over to the scuttle. A lot of control, though, from Enclave on this top side. You can see a pink ward in the river, and they push to get wards as well in other areas. Ping's coming out. Scoot's going to move over. Will be able to pick up that pink ward, control ward, sorry, and then could go for NG's red if he's aware of it.
It's a bit risky for him to go for it. Of course, they know where he is now, but having the priority in top, it could work out if Rengus gets the rotation early on.
I think Scooter is just honestly after XP. NG is ahead now. I think he leached some XP from the mid lane, and he's now level 6. So you have to be so careful playing around mid lane, because NG and Magic Felix have that combo that they can use. They can just blow someone up.
Right, with Scoot reaching his level 6 now, we'll have to see what ultimate he grabs first. You could easily just show up mid and grab it from him, but it kind of might be a bit hard to set up. You'd probably need the Emperor's Divide, sort of a streamer shuffle play for that to work.
Personally, I think that the one you should pick up is Prosper's ult.
Yeah.
In the early levels, having that to be able to be anywhere on the map, you can just focus on farming, and then if something kicks off, you're able to ult in. And although there's not going to be a ton of AP right now, there is an AP scaling on Shen's ult, and it's pretty significant. I mean, I don't know if you've ever played AP Shen, but you get a really fat shield.
It's terrible, though, but you do get a big shield.
It is terrible, but you get a big shield. But when you're playing Silas, you're not worried about that. AP is the way to go. That's free pickings. NG applying some pressure on the top lane. And this is actually really bad for Rengus on this Nico, because all the vision's being cleared out. And the wave was actually pushing Ronaldo, but it looks like he's just going to shove it in. Not too bothered about forcing a freeze.
All right, two-shot barrage came down in the bottom lane. Either looking to poke out or just to force even more pressure under this tower. Clear out those minions. Look for a good reset. Scoot's shown down here.
Yeah, the one thing with taking Shen's ult is they did reduce how long you can hold on to his ult from 120 seconds to 90. And also, the hijack range is a bit lower as well. So you'd have to walk right up to Prosper to get that, which could invite some TPs or something, or collapse some NG. I think for now, he's just happy to keep farming. And might take quite a bit of poke, but across the board, CSs are relatively even, apart from in the mid lane. Magi Felix has managed to pull ahead at 97. We're going to have a little look at the gold, and reflective of the CS, it is pretty similar, but there's advantages in the mid lane for Magi Felix, and the bot lane, that Klepto is coming in huge for Kevo. Definitely helps when you get 70 gold level 1.
Oh, for sure. It's, like you said, it's not going to go towards control wards. That's going towards damage. And we'll probably see Kevo hurting, chunking people out with that Q at stages in this game. They are now resetting, shoving the wave out, looking for the recalls. Kevo does have his teleport. Is he going to use it?
Looks like for now he's just walking back. Has picked up the Sheen, Tier, and the pickaxe. But there's the full...
That's a big buy.
Man immune coming out from Matty, and he's actually going to be able to recall now and spend more if he wanted to. Well, I think he must have just recalled recently to spend. Wits End now picked up. Yeah, did TP in. Wits End now picked up for Magi Felix. Pretty common when you're playing something like you throw into a mage mid, especially when there's an AP. I mean, if you look at the side of Enclave, there's a lot of AP. I mean, Ezreal obviously does a lot of AD damage, but there's also AP from his W and his ult. So it's a pretty solid pickup just to reduce all that damage. And the sustain can definitely help as well.
There was even... Oh, what was it? Shogun was getting just deleted by an Ezreal with the Gunblade just one-shotting him, and that damage will be reduced by this magic resist.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing to counteract them, is the wind wall from Magi Felix. It's going to stop a lot of the utility from Raisins, but then also the damage from Kevo and Rengus really gets cut short. So him having clutch wind walls in this game will be crucial in the later team fights.
See Prosphere coming back towards his lane now. He's got a decent flank angle onto Kevo, but like you said, they've got so many defensive tools. I don't see this connecting. Oh, Raisins isn't there, so they're forcing all of the abilities. Shenol is coming down now from Scoot, and he's joining it into the fray. Teleport 2, getting the stun down onto Xmati, but we've got another... Oh no, he's going to be falling. First blood comes through for Enclave. And there's the miasma keeping Scoot in position, going golden, as the rest of the team do show up to the fight. Rengus joined, Ronaldo joined, and they will just walk away.
Just a flawless play coming out from Enclave. Fnatic thought they were free to make that aggressive play. Scoot comes in with the Shenol that he stole, and then the rest of the team is there to capitalize. And Scoot, he was a standout member of that. Lands the abduct onto Xmati even after the flash, and then uses his stopwatch to perfectly evade all the damage coming out from Fnatic. But they have all looked to reset, and now Fnatic are making a move on that dragon with Yasuo and Shen in place. NG's got the backup he needs to take this.
Yes, second Mountain Drake for them now. It's going to be huge for them. The Rift Herald's still also on the map right now.
It makes it really scary because later in the game with Double Mountain, I feel like Ronaldo can two-man the Baron. You just need someone to tank it because there is a debuff in the Baron.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which reduces your damage dealt by half. So you just need someone like Prosphere or NG to absorb the damage and the buff, and then you can just burn through it. And the next dragon will be an Infernal, so should be another really high contested objective.
Yeah, lots of strong dragons in this game. Enclave probably want to start thinking about preventing Fnatic from just continuously getting them. Again, if the Elder Dragon does come up like we saw in the 4th game of yesterday, and one team has all of the dragons, it could be huge for them. So that needs to be something Enclave keep on top of.
Absolutely, especially when there's dragons like this. Mountain, you'll be able to shred the objectives, but Infernals can really start to swing the scaling in games. The extra stats, especially in a game like this, where almost everyone's going to benefit from it. I mean, the Shen won't too much, and the Morgana doesn't build a ton of AP, but it does help with the amount of shielding she has with a Black Shield. But everyone else, the junglers, top laners, mid and AD, would all love those extra stats. So I feel like there will be a big fight over that Infernal, or one of the teams will try and trade it for another objective. But right now, Enclave are getting that Herald pretty much uncontested.
All right, that needs to be dropped within like the next 40 seconds for the most use to come out of it.
Yeah, and then with the recall coming out from Scoot, I'm not sure how viable that's going to be. We have 30 seconds in the play-in. He's running bot lane, but he's probably not even going to make it in time. But he'll get there, and then he has to instantly drop it. No, I don't think he's going to make it in time. It's going to be 1350 by the time he plays it. The channel is just going to be too long. They may be able to get some damage on the tower. The Platons, they should be able to survive.
Oh well, it's a bit of missed gold, but that was a good binding. Now they're going all in onto Xmati, using his ultimate to try and escape, but the CC comes through and Kevo finds the kill.
Plating does fall, but they have the Herald here. An uncharacteristic mistake from Xmati, caught out by Raisin's binding, and he has been excellent. He was playing a lot of Lux and solid with those bindings, and here he's now on the Morgana, and it's been similar. Just able to find these clutch CC and enables his team.
It's a 2k gold advantage for themselves now. Oh, in the top lane, Ronaldo dropping down the Petrifying Gauge. Rengus is going to return it with his own Pot Blossom going golden as well. Ronaldo does so much damage with those Twin Fangs though. Rengus is just going to back away. Magifelix is under the turret right now. Beely knocked him back in with the Emperor's Divide. Magifelix is low, but he has the passive shield. Jumping back in. Ignite drops down. Shen's coming through on this. Beely goes golden, but it's a 1v2 and he does not survive.
Oh, so close. I feel like if Beely flashed a tornado, he would have found that, or at least been able to get out alive. But he gets hit by the tornado, the ult follows, and then Prosphere's there to save Magifelix. But honestly, Beely, to get that close at solo killing the premier mid laner of the UKLC, pretty big, but it must sting to end up with just going down in return.
And that was incredibly close, but that's just a testament to the skill on Magifelix. He is a clutch player, but also Prosphere.
Yeah, I think Prosphere really saved in there. The tornado was big. Got to question Beely's decision not to flash it. Maybe just not expect the Channel to come in. I thought that even with the ult, it would have survived. Scoot, actually, you're quite low.
Yeah, he's found him. Flash body slam forces Scoots over the wall.
Yeah, so just a straight up flashes here. Flash on the Greg is pretty valuable for engages. It just means Scoot's going to be a bit more vulnerable and has actually fallen behind in XP.
All right, Rengus. Good. Making sure He doesn't face check that and get a big fat man right to the face.
This is a really rough matchup to be in. The Gragas you saw, we said how strong it is together. Really easy setup for the ult. And the thing is as well is that the Gragas is stopwatch, and Magifelix is just stacked them out. He has Merc Treads and a Wit's End. There's only limited damage to come out from a Nico, especially if a Wind Wall is potentially going to block some of it. You just don't have the damage to kill either of these targets. So there's no way that Rengus can even think of outplaying it unless Engie and Magifelix really mess up. So a pretty good tower take from them and a heads-up play to rotate their lanes and allocate them in the right spot to be able to get that. So now the gold still in favor of Enclave, but it has equalized to a degree. And now the bot lane, Kevin and Raisins are looking mid. Try and chunk this down. Xmighty's there to defend, and this is the thing, when Prosper plays Shen, he can make those great global plays, but you do leave Maddie alone, and sometimes it's not enough just to be able to ult in later. So he'll already be dead. And
yeah, he'll just get completely one-shot. The wind will blocking a bit of damage there, but Prosper probably wasn't going down. Engie's shown up, found Beely, using the Emperor's Divide, but it does not connect onto him. Ronaldo lands the ultimate, the Twin Fangs get the kill.
Yeah, Beely looked for the outplay, but it was not going to be there. And now that Infernal Dragon is ripe for the taking for Fnatic. Double Mountain means he'll go down super fast. And Scoot, without a flash himself, is going to struggle to look for a steal.
The gold, like you said, is evening up even more so now. Scoot, he's got the vision. Let's have a look at individual gold.
Actually, didn't.
Wait, is he going to be able to get the steal on this?
He's
yes,
gone.
he
What
does.
are they doing?
Can he get back over the wall though? Steal to the Shen ultimate, getting locked up. No, he can't make his way out. Ronaldo off into the side, forces Raisins to flash.
But I mean, that's so weird. He got an Infernal. I'm not sure what Fnatic were doing. They only sent Engie to do the Dragon when Ronaldo was just pushing bot lane. He easily could have come over. The Miasma could have stopped Scoot from coming over the wall. But instead, they essentially hand it from him for free. Even Engie walks away. Yeah, great play from Scoot, but Fnatic, you gotta ask, what are you doing?
It was a mistake for sure, but it's not game ending. And you know, they've made some solid plays around the rest of the map so far. So there's one of those things you can look back on, but you're still in this, and they still have the advantage anyways. It would have been nice for sure, but they're still in it.
Oh, Beely steals away the Gromp. Shifting the soldiers over the wall.
Beely's 0-2-0 deathline right now. Considering he was against a Gragas Yasuo duo, I feel like he's done such a good job of avoiding dying as many times as he could have.
Yeah, I mean, it's on a great scoreline. I don't think it really gives testament to how he's played, because he did have a pretty sweet outplay on Magifelix, but just wasn't able to finalize the whole play. Shoving him under tower is nice, but you need to do a bit more than that to find a kill against him, especially with the Shen backing up. But yeah, I mean, he's an Azir, and Azir is always going to scale up and be relevant. He's just happily side laning right now, and there's very little pressure being applied onto him. Fnatic have moved towards this 1-3-1 style of composition. And right now, Enclave are handling it okay, but a Yasuo and a Cassiopeia are very strong in the 1v1. It does mean, however, that you're moving the Azir into the side lane, which means you lack the wave clear mid, but I don't think it's too much of a hit. I guess if an all-in comes in, having the Shen able to ult to a side lane can be pretty effective, but Rengus...
Yeah, getting slowed down by the Miasma, but his W still gives him so much move speed.
Yeah, actually in the panic used his GLP in the wrong direction, but didn't really matter. Good Root comes in, and this is the death squad from Fnatic. They send Shen and Gragas just moving around the map. And now they're looking mid lane. Yeah,
Enclave are looking to siege out the tower, but now they've got Yasuo running at them. Prosper getting the taunt. Kevo is down. Ronaldo gets a petrifying gaze onto two. Magifelix following through with the damage. Raisins will not be alive for long. Scoot has managed to slip out though. Rengus teleports in, but he is far away enough to survive.
And now they head straight over to that Baron. It will go down lightning fast. Double Mountain's available. It's 3 members of Enclave, their top side, to try and contest.
Scoot needs to make another amazing steal here. Can he do it? Will the ultimate from Gragas and Yasuo spells no? And red team do pick up that Baron.
And just as quick as the game felt slow and even, it explodes out of control, and Fnatic, they find everything they want and more. They've got the Baron, they've got the control, and it's now their game to lose.
Fnatic, they want to go back to that tower challenge. They want to go and find XL and take back their crown. And first they got to go through Enclave, and they're like, yeah, that's fine, we'll do it. That's going to be easy. We just find this engage in the mid lane, get ourselves a Baron nice and easy.
Oh, and I got to give credit to Ronaldo. He's waited in the rush and then got the 2-man stone with Petrifying Gaze. Really set that one up.
Clean.
And then NG as well, the great cask to allow Magifelix to ult over the wall on a Scoot. No way they got that steal. And sure, Enclave got that Infernal earlier, but they lost a lot more in that last play. And now it's all about playing the defensive game. Because when Fnatic has a Baron, you know they want to just take objective after objective.
Is Xmati going for a Wit's End as a third item?
Could well be. I think it's actually a good call. The on-hit is pretty beneficial. You will be able to get that evolved E, so you can go invisible. And then if you look at the side of Enclave...
Oh, Rengus is dead.
Rengus is dead, yeah, nothing else to say. Flash from both Ronaldo and NGUs, but they didn't even need the ultimates there. Pretty unfortunate situation. And Kevo, caught out in the mid lane, did actually miss that bit of action.
Yeah, Prosper did use his ultimate, but like you said, you can't just leave Xmati on his own, because he might die, but he's still got the return kill, which is impressive. Scoot now down onto Prosper. That's quite a tanky Shen.
Quite a tanky Shen indeed, and this is just your gun later in this game, is that there's only really magic damage apart from Kevo, and that's why he's opted into this Triforce, and you can see from the longsword, it's likely he's going to build more AD damage, because everyone on Fnatic is understanding there's a lot of AP threats, so the Wit's End coming out from the 2 carries does make them hard to kill. Another tower goes down, favorite Fnatic. Definitely getting a lot from this Baron buff.
Another dragon spawning now, and do we know what that one is, production?
Yeah, observers, can you show us the dragon? Or a replay of that fight mid? I'll take either.
Or
it's a mountain.
It's a third mountain.
Yeah.
If Fnatic get that, they can just decimate.
Oh, so here's the play. Kevo just gets a massive trade on Xmati. And then he gets turned around on. Might actually played that beautifully to sidestep those abilities. And it just ends up being a 1-for-1. So Kevo maybe a bit over-ambitious with that play. Fnatic get this Mountain Dragon pretty easily. And then I have 3, which, if you thought that Baron was fast before, wait till you see it now.
And if they get their eyes on any of these towers as well, they'll just be gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have opportunities to split push with some of the champions in their composition with the teleports, so...
They just need like a couple of autos on this tower and it's going to go down. They will finally get that mid-outer tower. The rest of the lanes aren't looking quite as good, with both the outer and inner tower cleared in the bot lane, and then you can see in the top lane there's just that 1 tower left, but on very low HP. 20 seconds of the Baron buff. Looks like they're going to try and apply some pressure topside and get that last tower outside of Enclave's base.
Oh, Ronaldo's been found, Scoot, using the Gragas ultimate that he stole early, and they've committed a lot of ultimates to that just for 1 kill, but you kind of need to when you're in this position.
Yeah, and they get a shutdown as well, which is definitely something big. 500 gold going over to Scoot. I like the play. They do sacrifice this turret in the top lane, but you have to expect it was going to go down regardless.
Yeah, the Baron buff is worn off by now, but still not needing it to take down those turrets and extending their gold lead further. It's at about 6k now. If things continue as they're going, we might... I want to say we'll see a bigger gold lead, but we could see the end of the game soon with Fnatic in such a commanding lead.
The next big objective is going to be that Baron. Fnatic take it light and fast, so I expect them to just try and get control of the top side of Enclave's jungle, and then they'll hopefully just keep playing around that vision control and get some from Enclave to face check and then punish them. Otherwise, if they get the opportunity, they could just rush that Baron down in a couple of seconds almost. And that's why it's so difficult for Enclave, because you have to contest that vision without getting caught. But if you leave it to drop for, you know, maybe 10 seconds, a couple of members of Fnatic could burn through that Baron. Triple Mountain with a Cassiopeia is just an absurd amount of damage.
And they're getting close to their third item spikes as well, which is where a lot of these champions just start to hit so hard. And if that falls in line with the Baron buff spawning, it's going to be a really hard fight.
Just as you're saying, they're about to hit that. We've seen both third items completed from Magifelix and Xmati. The Infinity Edge, meaning he shows at 100% crit and has that bonus crit damage. And then the Wit's End from Xmati. So a ton of sustained damage if they're looking to burn through that Baron. But now, though, looks like they're just potentially waiting for a pick, going for those resets, getting those items. Enclave have a decent amount of control. But the Baron, we can see the timer showing up on the map, and we know that Fnatic are going to want to have control of this area.
Fnatic don't feel pressured to just wait. I think they probably have the late game with the composition anyway, so it's not one of those, all right, we need to end this as soon as possible, boys, sort of situations. You can kind of stall out for that Baron.
Yeah, it's still going to be a bit concerning because there's an Azir on the other side, but it's so heavily stacked in terms of magic damage. They can just really build a ton of MR, and then it's down to Kevo to 1v9, and with the wind wall, it's so difficult. So I'd agree. I think Fnatic have this favored in the later stages, but you can't just rely on our comp is going to be better late. But Fnatic by no means are doing that. They're getting control of the bot side jungle. Now, I've got to imagine they'll move over to that Baron area and try and control that. There's good vision from Enclave right now, but I'm not sure how long that's going to last.
Raisins is in a poor position. Xmati using his ultimate. NG's closing in onto Raisins, popping the ultimate down onto Scoot.
Wait, NG's so low.
Shen's ultimate. NG stepped too far forwards and he's going to be falling already in the fight. Now Fnatic look like they still want to take it. Ronaldo petrifying gaze onto so many members. Magic Felix going over the wall and the rest of Enclave seem to be as well. Beely's Emperor's Divide doesn't find too many, just splits up the fight as Ronaldo shreds through Scoot.
And it looked like Enclave had the fight there. They took out NG at the start, and then they got corralled into a corner, and Ronaldo just blows them up. It was a great petrifying gaze. He caught so many members, and despite the fact that they don't have a jungler, Fnatic, they feel confident to look for this Baron. Look
so
how fast it's dying. It's just gone.
Bye. That was incredible.
That was fast. The tower just going down for Enclave in the mid lane, but it's a small consolation prize when you've been destroyed that hard in a team fight. Felt like Beely made the desperation play at the end to try and recover it, but he just ended up caught in the middle. And that was the story, is that Enclave, they all looked to collapse onto NG, but as a result, they used their ability to get in. They were trapped in a small space, and it just set up Ronaldo to use a great petrifying engage. We'll have another look. So NG looks for the aggressive play onto Raisins, but ends up just getting locked up on the back end of this. Has to use a stopwatch, but the ult is being channeled from Raisins, so he gets stunned before it comes out. And now, all these members of Enclave are trapped by this miasma. Ronaldo comes in with a great petrifying gaze. They try and turn it around, but there just isn't enough. Kevo dies off screen from the poison, and then Beely comes in to try and make a shuffle play, but it just is not enough by any means.
And Ronaldo has been huge on this Cassiopeia so far. 4-1
been
and 2,
really
and of
good,
course
really
that's an Infernal. Not getting stolen by the two-shot barrage
It's
there.
another Infernal next. I don't think you could honestly have a higher priority string of Drakes. Definitely been high stakes on those, but Fnatic managed to equalize those stats that Enclave stole earlier, and now they're looking to keep the push going. 1-3-1 is the plan for Magic Felix. He looks liable to walk over.
His towers just take so few shots from Xmati, and they still fall. He doesn't really have much AD on that.
I feel like Enclave would struggle more to kill those Baron-empowered cannon minions than Fnatic struggle to kill towers.
You're not wrong. Like, they have so much damage, and they have Triple Mountain just across the map. Look how fast they're going down. This is nasty.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 1-3-1 means they can't just assign Beely to a single lane to wave clear. He's put that tower down on top, but you want your Azir to be your reliable wave clear. He's limited. He can only cover one lane at a time, and so Fnatic are splitting Enclave up to make it difficult for them.
And we're probably not going to see it realistically, but if an Elder Dragon was to come up in this game, again, that's in Fnatic's favor, as if the late game wasn't already pretty much in their hands composition-wise with all of the magic resist that they can build. They're just collapsing in on Enclave here, choking them out of their base, forcing in from all three lanes, and Enclave feel like they have to go for a play here. Scoot misses the chain onto NG, but Xmati goes in so deep. Rengus is low, and it looks like he might be able to escape. The cast does not get the kill, and Fnatic find the inhibitor.
Yeah, but a lot of ults were used there. Maddie and NG's down. This could be the opportunity for Enclave to look for a fight. It would have to be a miracle, but this is their last chance. If they lose that mid inhibitor and the top 1-2, the game will almost certainly be over.
Closing it in. Kevo gets a big chunk out onto NG, but Magic Felix is in the top lane getting the second inhibitor, third one falling at the same time with Xmati's auto attacks. That's a lot of damage onto Prosper, but he's not really a crucial target to take down in the fights, and that's triple inhibs now. Enclave are in such a difficult spot.
Yeah, and Fnatic, they know they don't have to do more here. They're going to back off, reset, spend their gold. The Baron will expire, but Super Minion's going to start pushing in, and Enclave, I said they needed a miracle before. I think it's going to take more than that if they want to make this defense work. 10k goal difference now on the map.
We need a godlike Pop Blossom with a godlike Shurima Shuffle and a And everything needs to be godlike from Enclave here.
I think
to
it's
survive.
not even down to what Enclave do. I think it comes down to Fnatic making a mistake. If someone oversteps and ends up dying, then yeah, it could happen. But it would have to take some massive mistakes from Fnatic. And that's the thing, there's a 10k gold lead for Fnatic, but if someone gets caught out, you can wipe that difference off the map in one kill. The problem is, I don't think Fnatic will let it happen.
Yeah, and also someone getting caught out, they have so much magic resist, they might be able to survive. But there you go, the Gragas Yasuo combo down. Finds Rengus. Scoot looking to escape, has the last breath. Oh
Matty
my
just burst him!
Matty on the back line, going for the assassination. Raisins is going to be falling with the double kill. Beerly, he's trying to do what he can, but it will not be enough. Fnatic are looking to end it here. They're looking to make it into the finals. Beerly looking for the Shreema shuffle. Doesn't get anyone into the fountain. OX Matty is working away onto these Nexus turrets. Getting one, getting two. The Nexus will be next in the firing line as they take down Beerly. And Scoot will be soon to follow. Fnatic beat Enclave.
I think beat is an understatement. Fnatic murder Enclave. It's their 15th birthday and they are trying to have a celebration because that was close for a little bit, and then it just exploded, and you could see Fnatic, they knew what their game plan was, they had a reason for subbing Ronaldo in, and they just absolutely decimated Enclave, and their eye is clearly set on that tower.
And your prediction that maybe they throw it because they want to be partying right now, it's the other,
They don't want to
the
be
other way
partying.
around.
They want to be celebrating.
We're going to win as fast as possible so that we can be celebrating.
There you go, that's the play. That is the big play coming out from Fnatic. What a performance though, Ronaldo. He looked good on the Corki last time we saw him play, but it's a Corki. You just sit back and farm, basically. But on the Cassiopeia, who is another scaling champion, he just was so much more proactive, and it allows you to be, but those petrifying gaze, every big team fight that came out from Fnatic, it was the petrifying gaze from him that really set up his team.
Right, and we, I believe we're going to go to a break now before we head into the second semi-final of today.
Yeah, it will be Demise up against Envision, rematch of Game 1 from the Summer Split. So we will be going to 5-minute break, so stay with us and see you soon.